Take a moment and look all around you. I don't want you caught off guard or alarmed when I come for you. I need you to know that I would never walk away. I know what you need, I would bleed for you, but you're taking somebody home. I know I need to move on, I need to be strong, but I don't wanna go, no, no,
Program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you know that. I know that. We all know it. It does not matter who the host is. Anyways, I hope you had a fantastic weekend as we are jumping into Monday and ready to take off and do all the fantastic stuff that we do around here and you do around there and all the, the stuff that we should talk about. That is for sure. Anyways, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then, of course, hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place that we do stuff at.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Yes, some infiltration, Radio Big, the mix of stuff that is going on. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about, little time to do so, and some trenching will be taking place. Yeah, we'll talk about that here in just one bit. So if you want to interact with the show, kind of a simple process on doing so, callinradio.com is the easiest way to go about on doing that. Once you get there, you'll have the options on what to do. Outside of that, also, if you want to watch the visual side of this, which there's really not a need to, but you can go to safetyfm.com and click on the portion that says Visual Radio. That's Visual Radio to get you moving and grooving and all that kind of fun stuff. So let's start talking right away about what is trending inside of the world and all that kind of fun stuff. So let's go from there. Anyway, Saturday was National Root Beer Float Day, which I'm not even sure why the hell you'd want to celebrate that, but there was an option of doing that on Saturday. Lucille Ball was trending on Saturday as well as fans remembered the late great actress on her birthday. And I will tell you, she had a huge impact on the television industry, and you might sit there and go, well, why do you figure that? Well, she was the first show, or her show was the first show to ever feature reruns. Yes, reruns. That was the show that caused reruns to occur. Okay, what else was going on? Well, Kyle Rittenhouse was trending on Sunday after the Twitterverse argued over whether he should be considered a hero or a murderer for his actions during protests in Wisconsin. And Twitterverse reacted to baseball fans' mixed reactions on Pete Rose being inducted at Citizen Bank Park before the Phillies took on the Nationals. We can talk more about that, but I'm not really a big sports guy or a baseball guy, so probably not the right guy to talk about it, but it was subject of conversations that was going on over the weekend. So I don't know if I should talk about this. I mean, maybe we should talk about it now, and then that way there is no more tears, or should I say no more fears, or should I just say whatever? Well, let's just talk about it and get it over with because I think it's going to be important. You saw me hanging out with this picture talking about this event that was coming up, blah, blah, blah. There had been some rumors that there was going to be taking place in October and all that kind of fun stuff, this stuff right here. Well, I will tell you, after much debate, and for the people that can't see this on the radio, this is the Safety Differently conference that was being rumored to potentially be taking place in October. Well, I got news. I told you last week that you would see some change going on the website to be able to start moving forward and all that, blah, 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 blah. Well, there will be more information on the website, but as we speak right now, it will not be occurring in October. I can tell you that portion. Unless something dramatically changes within the next tidbit, it will not be happening in October. Some things have come up that it will be probably pushed back to early next year as we speak. Early next year. Just the timeline didn't work, my friend, so I'd rather just tell you now, opposed to having hopes high or high hopes, however you want to look at it, and let you know what the hell is going on. So we will say the rumor is not true. It is not occurring in October. Postponement until possibly, the beginning of next year. So look out for 2023, and I know we're only in August, but it's stuff to talk about in regard to that. And I didn't mention that. It is August the 8th, just in case you did not know. It is day 220th of the year and only 145 left to go. I know 145 days doesn't sound like, or sounds like a lot, but then it doesn't sound like a lot if you kind of put the swing and ting on it. That is for sure. So with that being said, I think if you are not familiar with how this show goes, let me kind of give you the layout of the land, because that might be the easier way on doing this. We talk about safety in the news, and we bring in some professional broadcasters, and they tell us what the hell's going on. And then we kind of come back together, talk a little bit about everything. We give you a main story, and then we give you a nice little seal, and then you get to move forward and go on from there. And I think that that's the way that we should do stuff. That way we can get you out of here as soon as possible with a lot of information that you might want to know. Anyways, with that being said, it is time to do the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. President Biden will head to Kentucky today to tour areas devastated by recent historic flooding. He'll join Governor Andy Beshear to meet with victims and see recovery efforts in the area. NBC meteorologist Michelle Grossman says even more rain is on the way to the region.
Looking at the potential for 1 to 2 inches of rain on top of what they've already seen. So not good news there. We have numerous spots where we are tracking the chance for some life-threatening flash flooding.
The storms killed more than 36 people. Americans will see historic results from the Inflation Reduction Act, according to Senator Richard Blumenthal.
We're going to see costs of gasoline continue to drop, costs of necessities to decline.
Appearing on CNN's State of the Union, the Connecticut Democrat touted the positive outcome of the bill. That's the focus of a rare weekend session of the Senate. He said Americans will see cuts in the cost of energy, prescription drug prices, and overall less pain at the pump. Blumenthal also argued that new tax provisions in the bill targeting large corporations is the tax fairness the U.S. needs. An abortion ban will go into effect on September 15th in Indiana. The state becomes the first to approve an abortion ban since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in June. Under the new legislation, abortions can only be performed at hospitals or outpatient centers in cases of rape and incest within 10 weeks. 2 separate mass shootings in Detroit within 12 hours have killed 3 people and injured 9. Detroit Association of Black Organizations President Ronald Lockett called the mass shootings frustrating.
Part of my frustration is that there are some magnificent things that are occurring on in the city, but a weekend like this just diminishes it.
The first shooting happened around 10:30 Saturday morning at what police say was a known drug house, with 2 people being killed, 3 others hurt. The second was during a dice game, killing 1 and injuring 6. Police say they recovered between 20 and 30 shell casings in that one. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated
From
R
Vita
Safety
Story
Show.
News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. A ceasefire between Israel and Palestinian militants has been holding in its first hours. The US Senate's passed a sweeping healthcare tax and climate package. China will carry out more military drills in the Yellow and Bohai Seas following days of exercises around Taiwan. And Hong Kong is slashing its mandatory hotel quarantine rules for incoming travelers from a week to 3 days.
You are listening to a Radio God. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a Radio God. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Teachers' unions in multiple states are reporting hundreds, sometimes thousands of vacancies in positions for teachers and support staff. Randy Weingarten with the American Federation of Teachers says the issue has now reached a tipping point due to the pandemic and the politics in schools that haven't been forged from it.
People who would ordinarily have continued in their jobs are saying, I've had enough. I'm tired of being so demeaned and disrespected.
It's forcing districts and lawmakers to find innovative ways to reverse a trend that has been growing for years. While the American Federation of Teachers says their fight to lobby for higher teacher salaries isn't new, the pandemic has single-handedly pushed away educators for all ages for different reasons. The shortage is raising concerns about the quality of education. Some states are allowing teachers to begin teaching in classrooms before they're even certified. The federal government is being asked to help New York City deal with migrants bust in from Texas. Mayor Eric Adams went after Texas Governor Greg Abbott in a tweet Sunday, accusing the Republican governor of using innocent people as political pawns to manufacture a crisis. Adams added that New Yorkers are stepping up, but that the city needs federal help in the way of money, technical assistance, and more. Two men accused of plotting to kidnap and murder Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer will go on trial again this week. Trey Thomas reports.
Adam Fox and Barry Croft Jr. will be retried beginning Tuesday after their first trial ended in mistrials for them and acquittals for two other men charged in the alleged plot. Fox and Croft and the others were accused of hatching the plot because they were angry with Whitmer for safety restrictions she ordered in 2020 as the COVID pandemic began to spread.
Hundreds of people are injured after lightning set oil storage tanks on fire in Cuba. It struck one tank at a big oil tank farm on the west side of the island country and sparked a fire that spread to a second. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
So, do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now? That live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Attention business owners. Are you receiving all the employee tax credits you have coming to you? A tax refund program provided for by the CARES Act of 2020 could be worth thousands. Employee retention tax credits, or ERTCs, are a fully refundable payroll tax. You may be eligible for up to $26,000 per employee per quarter. At Lifetime Advisors, we have a team of experts dedicated to the ERTC program. We work with businesses of all sizes, both big and small, to claim the money that they're entitled to. It's your money, and we can help you get it. Call Lifetime Advisors today at 1-877-851-0005. We'll send you a short questionnaire to see if you qualify. There is no obligation, but this is a limited time program. Don't miss out. Call 1-877-851-0005. That's 1-877-851-0005 to get the ERTC money you have coming to you. Lifetime Advisors.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with BIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take BIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, yes, magic time is back again. 16 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging and banging on this lovely Monday. You know, I hope you're not sitting around being one of those people that is like, I have a case of the Mondays. There's no case of the Mondays. Let's get the case of getting the shit done. Let's go from there. Anyways, let's talk about the top of the hit list because that's going to be important as we are talking, hanging out, and doing all the fun stuff that we do. Anyways, after laying low for a while, Elon Musk is back making news ahead of the trial to determine whether he's will be legally required to complete his purchase of Twitter. Yeah, last week reports swirled that Musk was building a private airport outside of Austin that would be convenient to his home, the Tesla facility and the offices of Neuralink. He says that it's fake news. He tweets, he notes, Tesla is like 5 minutes from the Austin International Airport. Would be silly to build another private airport. However, the existing commercial airport needs another runway as Austin is growing fast. So there you go. He says he drinks in a back and forth with one of his fans. Musk revealed that he likes Stone of Destiny whiskey, but that he might have been just trolling. Bottles of the booze start a few $100 and can run for a few $1,000s. So there you go. So in continuing in this hoorah of stuff about the trial, Musk wanted to pull out the deal because it could not verify just how many of the Twitter accounts belong to active users versus bots or even people who never log on anymore. He tweets, if Twitter simply provides their method of sampling 100 accounts and how they are able to confirm real versus fake, the deal should proceed on the original terms. However, it turns out that their SEC filing are materially false. Then it should not. So there you go. So that's going to be part of the issue there when you start thinking about it. It's the way that they actually Twitter had to give the information to the SEC. Anyways, worth noting, going to trial could be an elaborate game of chicken that forces Twitter to reveal data that could run, afoul its filing to the federal government and spur a necessary shakeup in the corporate mission structure and ranks, which then you would have to go, well, then what is the value going to be from that particular portion? And then will he still try to come back in and swoop? Because let's think about this. There is something inside of that deal, and I don't know how it's written because, we can only go based on what is informed, that if he did not proceed with the deal, meaning Elon Musk, there would be $1 billion that he would have to pay Twitter. $1 billion. I mean, that's that's nothing to just go, hey, it's $1 billion with a B, just in case if you did not hear me. It is 1 billion.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, data out of San Diego shows that people who have been fully vaccinated and boosted are most likely to get COVID and be hospitalized because of COVID or die from COVID. Yeah, take a listen to this real quick. From May the 1st to July the 30th, those who were fully vaccinated and boosted represented 44% of the cases. 43% were hospitalized hospitalizations, and 41% of those were deaths. These are the highest numbers in terms of both relative and absolute cases compared to segments of the population who were either fully vaccinated or not. So let's talk about this real quick, because my confusion here is, can we get a sample size? I want to know numbers, and I think, giving me percentages are good, but if you don't give me sample size, what is the sample? So from May the 1st to July the 30th, those who were fully vaccinated and boosted represented. Okay, but that's not a number. So you have to, here's what happens. If you don't give me enough data, I can't tell you what you're telling me, because if you're telling me like it's 3 people, because let's listen to this real quick. Fully vaccinated and boosted represented 44% of all cases. Okay, 44% of how many? 43 of those were hospitalizations. Okay, so 43% of what the sample size, and 41% of those was deaths. So still sample size is needed, because I don't know how many people we're talking about. I really don't, because those seem like some very high numbers, and, the world would be going on fire if those numbers were that high, if we had a very large sample size. So something to think about. And then the other portion, it is one of the most beautiful places in the country, if you like the beach scene, being San Diego. So that's something else to think about, just in case we are talking about we're going to visit. So there you go. Anyways, if we're no longer measuring recession by 2 consecutive quarters of economic contraction, maybe we can look into real estate markets and the metaverse. Yeah. So here we go. Inflation is the result of too much money in the economy. Here's one non-political piece of evidence that shows there's too much cash floating around. In March of this year, people were spending more than $15,000 on retail plots in the metaverse. Yes, the metaverse, just in case if you did not hear me. And that was the average price per parcel. This is a virtual plot of land that is not tangible and does not exist in reality and can only be accessed by wearing VR goggles. Now the sales of such plots of non-existent land have tanked, and right along with the economy. So there you go. When you start thinking about stuff like this, and you go, well, I bought a plot. I bought a piece of digital land, because that's what it is, a digital parcel. What the hell are you going to build on it? And who's in charge of it? It gets weird. It gets weird. I understand when you start wanting to invest in stuff, but what the hell are you investing in? I'm still having tons of questions about people with NFTs, and I guess that's a whole other conversation. And we might be able to look back in the future and go, Monday, August the 8th at 7:22 a.m. Eastern time, you started talking about this. How did you not know this back then? I don't know. But it just sounds still like a weird thing. Like, what the hell am I going to do with an NFT? Just something to think about.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
So you heard about the story last week about the Choco Taco and people losing their stuff about it. So let's talk about this real quick. The Choco Taco may not be gone for good after all. Reps for Klondike told CNN Friday that the team is working on a plan on bringing it back through, well, what it could be may take some time. They said they have a strategy as a result of the vocal backlash of the announcement that they'd be discontinuing the ice cream treat a few weeks ago. But it doesn't appear that it was a stunt. It may take, years to return the Choco Taco back to production. I think where they went wrong, let's just be realistic. If you're going to sell Choco Tacos and really push them, you have to keep them in Taco Bell. Let's just be realistic. And I know the Taco Bell, somebody can go, how the hell are you eating there? But it seems like it's a good portion for it to be at there. If you're going to go down that street, just go ahead and get the Choco Taco there as well. But they pulled that thing off that menu a while ago too. But that's neither here nor there as we are talking. But anyways, let's continue talking about some other things, because, that's what's going to keep us live and clicking. So let's talk about this famous land that I'm in. Let's talk about some Florida stuff, because, that's always fun. It's python hunting season here in Florida. From last Friday morning through 5 p.m. on August the 15th, more than 800 hunters will navigate the Everglades to round up the Burmese pythons, an invasive species that preys and kills all kinds of animal and can lay up to 100 eggs a year. The state is giving $2,500 cash prizes for those who remove the most pythons. Other awards will go out to the longest catches, and the snakes must be dead to count. Fun times. Hey, do you want to come down to Florida? You have a week. You still have a week if you want to do it and hunt some pythons. Doesn't that sound like some fun times? I mean, it could be like a family vacation. It's some stuff to do. I mean, just think about it in that way. Anyways, I think it's time to talk about what the hell's going on inside of the market. So let's bring in some John Smalls and go from there.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Monday, August 8th, 2022. The rebound in equities hit a roadblock in the form of resistance at the 4150 level last week and may have a hard time moving higher. The move was capped with a lackluster day Friday that was sparked by hotter than expected unemployment numbers. The NFP report shows unemployment and wage gains both accelerated on a month-to-month basis and put pressure on the Fed to hike rates. This week's big news will be the CPI report due out Wednesday. The report may show inflation coming down from the previous month, but there is risk in that outlook. Not only was the PCE price index hotter than expected, but indications from the bulk of S&P 500 companies is for systematic inflation to continue into the fourth quarter. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at MarketBeatMinute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that one, letting us know what is going on inside of the world. Let me give you a little tidbit of what we were able to locate. The Dow added about 76 points on Friday to close at 32,803. The S&P lost about 6 points to close at 4,145, and the NASDAQ lost about 63 points to close at 12,657. West Texas Intermediate closed at $90 a barrel on Friday, and at 89. Or close, not closed, at 89.01, and Brent crude was down to 94.66. The national average price of gallon per gas was $4.06 on Sunday. Bitcoin picked up more than $350 on Sunday to close out around $23,000 and $23,300. It seems to always be close to that mark right there, right around that 22 section, so that's not terrible. There were also 5,260 flight delays within, into, out of the United States on Sunday, and 893 such cancellations. So there you go. Some stuff to think about there if you are flying in high, baby, on what you want to do. So let's take a look real quick. We didn't tell you about the charts of the box office, so I think we should probably talk about this before we get into the next thing real quick. At number 10, according to what the movies were doing over the weekend, and number 10 was The Black Phone with $1.4 million, and number 9 was Elvis with $4 million, and number 8 was Easter Sunday with $5.2 million, and number 7, Where the Crawdads Sing, $5.6 million, and number 6, Top Gun Maverick, $7 million, and number 5 was the Minions Rise of Groot, $7.1 million, and number 4 was Thor Love and Thunder, $7.6 million, and number 3 was Nope, $8.4 million. And number 2 was DC's League of Super Pets with $11.2 million, and rocking it out at the top of the thing here was, it was Bullet Train. You know, the Brad Pitt new movie with $30.1 million. That was the number 1 spot. I'm sure a lot of people went out there to see that one. It's Brad Pitt. I mean, come on. You can't go wrong there. I mean, can you? I mean, I don't know. Some stuff to think about as we are talking real quick. Anyways, let's get into some news here a little bit more. We were talking about Florida a few moments ago, so let's talk about this. A Florida county prosecutor suspended by the Republican Governor Ron DeSantis says that he is not going down without a fight. Take a listen to what Mark Mayfield has to say.
DeSantis suspended Hillsborough County State Attorney Andrew Warren last Thursday after Warren refused to enforce the state's 15-week abortion ban. Warren also condemned laws outlawing gender-affirming health care for young people. Warren has been elected twice to head the county prosecutor's office in Tampa. He said on Twitter that DeSantis came to Tampa to illegally remove him as part of some political circus. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Political circus. There you go. So some interesting stuff going down here in Florida here. So let's talk about some of my other places here that I like to talk about. Police are investigating whether four Muslim men are connected. Police are looking into the killing of a man in New Mexico to see if there's any connection whatsoever. Take a listen to what Trey Thomas has to say.
3 of the murders happened in the last 2 weeks, including one Friday night, while another happened back in November.
If you do have information, please call Crime Stoppers at 843-STOP or go to the website at www.crimestoppersnewmexico.com.
Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham has released a statement saying, "We will continue to do everything we can to support the Muslim community during this difficult time." I'm Trey Thomas.
So a lot of stuff going on right there in New Mexico as we are talking about what is going on that side. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things that are happening inside of this world. Because I don't know, there just seems to be a lot of this news of the weird. So let's talk. Do we talk about news of the weird, or do we just kind of go into some other things? I mean, I don't know. Let's talk about this one real quick. A man stabbed in the back broad daylight at the Yankee Stadium subway station. A man is in the hospital after being stabbed at a Yankee Stadium subway station during broad daylight over the weekend. Take a listen to this.
Cops say the 33-year-old man was on the escalator at the 161st Street station around 1:30 p.m. Sunday when a man not wearing a shirt stabbed him with an unknown object in the back. The suspect caught on surveillance video fleeing the station on foot. The victim taken to Lincoln Hospital for treatment, expected to survive. Jennifer Pulsoni, NBC News Radio, New York.
News of the weird. It gets weirder and weirder as we talk. Let's talk a little bit more about New York for just one moment here. Police are investigating after tires were slashed on dozens of cars in a Queens neighborhood over the weekend. Take a listen to some more. Jennifer Pulsoni.
Police believe it happened during the early morning hours on Sunday along 42nd Avenue in Bayside, Queens. Some 44 cars having their tires slashed. Car owners frustrated and upset over the cost of replacing the tires, worried if it'll happen again.
I'm furious. I really feel unsafe. It's really unsafe. I was very upset.
Some folks noting tires were slashed on cars in the area just last week. Jennifer Pulsoni, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer Pulsoni, for that one. I think it's time to do that thing that we do around here.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's do some things. I have to ask the question, and I know that sometimes people don't like me asking questions because the worst thing that you can have is an answer to a question, and some people don't want to take it that far, and I get it. But have you ever worked inside of an organization where you feel that, you get lip service? What do I mean? You go into a location, you talk to one of the upper management, and somebody tells you something, and then all of a sudden you hear something else. So you talk to upper management. They say they're going to do this for your safety department. They're going to move forward. They're going to do X, Y, and Z. And then the next thing you know, they totally reversed all of their decisions of what it is going on inside of the organization after you spoke to them. And I mean, I'm not talking about reversing them to what you want. I'm talking about reversing them all together. And so then you sit there and you go, am I a moron? Or did I just fall for the biggest trick of all time of what somebody said that they were going to do that in return they were not planning on doing at all? And that's the question. That's the stuff that you have to talk about. And so this is where you start asking yourself the question of, does my organization suffer of trench mouth? And you might sit there and go, what? Yeah, trench mouth. The trench mouth thing normally contains a balance of different bacteria. Trench mouth occurs when there is too much pathological bacteria and the gums become infected and develop painful ulcers, blisters, viruses that may also be involved in allowing bacteria to grow too much in your mouth. So, you're doing stuff with your mouth because there's so much shit coming out of it or going into it that you might end up with something that's called trench mouth. And it seems like that's what the organization is doing. Listen, I know sometimes a little bit extreme, but you get cold sores, you get blisters, you get crap on your tongue that you can't do anything. And literally, I'm almost talking about crap here. But here's what happens. And we as professionals become so upset with what's going on because you just got a level of slips of lip service by somebody who has trench mouth, an organization that has trench mouth, and that's not what we're looking for. So the question becomes, how do you do these things on how it to be reversed? How do you do these things where you can have conversations that matter? How can you do these things where things will change? And that's where sometimes some of the difficulty comes about inside of the organization. Why is that? Because if you just talk to somebody in upper management and all of a sudden they are suffering from trench mouth because of everything that was going on, and I am using this as a relatively thing for an organization, not individual people. So let's just make sure that we're clear here. What do you do next? And that's where we start going, maybe it's about building relationships with key people throughout the organization. Because listen, I mean, and I know some people don't love me talking about this. When it comes to what we do for work, because of what we do and how it comes about, you almost are a marketer. You have to market something that people can't feel, touch, or see. What we need to do as well is also have those people that are the yell leaders and the cheerleaders that were out there that will go out there and promote what you are doing, the stuff that you are teaching, the stuff that you're trying to encounter. Because here's the thing. Yes, last week alone, I saved an organization $10 million in a potential incident that they were going to have. How am I going to prove that to you? How am I going to prove that to an organization? That's the question. Because here's the thing. Nobody will ever truly know the worth of what you bring into an organization because of the things that you do and the things that you help prevent. Because if you're doing all of this stuff and you're able to work on it and help people and change things ahead of time and the event doesn't occur, how can they base that? Because here's also the other portion. A lot of organizations are based of what have you done for me lately? Unfortunately, you can even say there's personal relationships that are based like that. And based on the importance of that, that's how you know how to move on and move forward. So, when do you start establishing these relationships? When do you start establishing this marketing stuff? I talk about safety communication all the time. Besides that on this show and the other show and the stuff that I do in the private sector, but it's so important and it's so crucial to be able to move forward. And it has to be infotainment to an extent. It has to be exciting. Listen, if you sit here and you have somebody who's sitting behind a desk and telling you the latest of what the hell's going on, is that really going to be the thing for the organization? That's going to be the portion to talk about. And maybe those are some of the things to think about as you are moving forward. There is so many things that could cause confusion inside of an organization if you do not play them right. And you definitely don't want to have a case of a trench mouth inside of an org with everything going on. And believe me, I know it's a serious disease and somebody can actually acquire, not inquire. So there you go. Maybe it's time to start fighting trench mouth inside of your organization by establishing relationships on key portions of the organization to be able to move forward and market what is going on. Think about it today. I know. Off my rocker for sure.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
The WorkWise Summit is an interactive 2-day gathering that will bring like-hearted leaders together like never before as we discuss ways to better align HR, safety, and operations around one common goal:
creating the future of work together.
Day one will focus on self-performance with talks with leading experts on how to live and lead at our best. Day two will focus on organizational performance with discussions on what we can do together to break down silos and foster action. The Work Summit will take place at Coker Tire Museum in Chattanooga, Tennessee on Thursday, September the 22nd and Friday, September the 23rd. For more information, go to workzbe.com/Y Summits. That's WORKZBE.com. Y Summit.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, The Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you. Okay, there you go. 43 minutes past the top of the hour. This is Eyeshadows by Tori Wolf. By the way, this is the Rated R Safety Show. This song's readily available on Spotify and iTunes. Thank you to Tori Wolf for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Tell you, just one of those days. Okay, so let's get into it because time is going TikTok, baby. TikTok. You know, we're running out of it. And I'm not saying about that stupid social media platform, just in case. Let's talk about this. Anyways, I'm going to tell you about the most important thing that you'll ever let me tell you about, and this is about the Suicide in Crisis Lifeline, also known as the 988 number. They can help you prevent suicide. The Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, prevention and crisis resources for you or loved ones, and best practices for professionals in the United States. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to 988lifeline.org. That's 988lifeline.org. Or you can actually call 988. Seriously, it's that simple. 988, just give it a call. The other side of the equation of something you can do is text the word TALK to 988, and that will get you moving and grooving as well. If you still remember the other number, and that's 1-800-273-8255 or 1-800-273-TALK, that one's still working as well. So there you go. So a lot of stuff that is going on inside of the world there, and they can cover a whole array of topics of conversation if you're so inclined to go out there, hang out, and talk about this all-important subject matter. Seriously, this should actually be a normalized conversation. If you are part of the older gen, this was something that was like, people are not supposed to talk about their feelings in public to other people. Yeah, I know. People said a lot of shit that's supposed to be good for you that's not true. You should be able to have conversations about this with no problem. No stigma, and let's move forward from there. Maybe that's the better way on taking a look-see at what the hell is going on. That is for sure. Anyways, to continue talking, it is currently 46 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are getting to hang out and do all the fun stuff that we get to do. Take a listen to this real quick. Iowa State Patrol are recruiting new troopers. The Iowa State Patrol is recruiting. Take a listen.
We are excited to offer a $5,000 hiring bonus for anyone who completes our academy. And then we have up to a $7,500 relocation reimbursement that we are offering.
Let's see. Paulson of Iowa Department of Public Safety. Applicants must be certified police officer. She says that they will pay depends on the experience. Paulson says that on the next 10 years, they expect to lose about half of their workforce in retirement. So let's see. Paulson of the Iowa State Department of Public Safety says the State Patrol are recruiting new troopers and offering them, thousands of dollars in bonuses.
Over the next 10 years, we're expecting to lose about 50% of our workforce because we had a big hiring boom 25, 30 years ago. So those folks now are getting ready to retire.
So there you go. If you're interested in becoming a police officer and Iowa's the place that's calling your name, you got a place to go. There you go. Anyways, a man has been sentenced to federal prison for scamming investors. The Lexington Co-man is heading to prison for scamming millions of dollars. Charlie O'Brien reports, oh, no, he doesn't. I lied to you. It looks like the file aisle has disappeared, so I have nothing for you on that one, besides that I lied and said that something was going to happen that didn't happen. Oh, how fun is that when I say something that's not there? So let's see if we can get more information about this because apparently it's not there. Anyway, CPD to increase presence on CTA trains. Expect to see an increased police presence on Chicago Transit Authority trains following another deadly shooting of a passenger. Barry Williams has more info.
Police Superintendent David Brown says additional officers will be assigned to offset the violent crime.
Obviously, a continuous balancing act to add officers where we say the priorities are. And right now, CTA is a priority for this department and for this city.
29-year-old Dianto Moon was shot several times on a Red Line train early Saturday morning. The Chicago Sun-Times newspaper reports that as of mid-July, CTA has reported 488 violent crimes this year, higher than at any point since the same period in 2011. I'm Perry Williams.
Thank you, Perry Williams, for that one. Let's continue talking about some other things. North Carolina school systems to put an AR-15 in each building. North Carolina school systems will place AR-15s in each school buildings in the event of future mass shootings. Mark Mayfield reports.
The Madison County Sheriff's Office and school officials decided to put the guns in 6 Madison County schools this upcoming school year in response to the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas, that left 19 students and 2 teachers dead. The Asheville Citizen-Times reports that the guns would be locked inside a safe with breaching tools and ammunition. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Okay, thank you, Mark Mayfield, for that information right there. CDC says to limit sexual partners to avoid monkeypox. The CDC is recommending that people limit their number of sexual partners to avoid being infected by monkeypox. So let me ask a question. How many partners are too many?
Although it is not considered a sexually transmitted disease, it is transmitted through close physical contact. They also say if a person suspects their partner has monkeypox, the best protection is to avoid kissing or touching. Data released from the CDC shows a majority of infections are among men who are sexually active with men. As of Friday, the CDC reported over 7,000 cases. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Okay, there you go. Some information going on right there. Anyways, police chief condemned gun violence after a Georgia park shooting. At least one person is dead and several others injured, including a 6-year-old in critical condition after a shooting at a Southwest Atlanta park. Atlanta Police Deputy Chief Charles Hampton Jr. is urging people to leave guns at home after an argument turned into a shooting at a sporting event on Sunday evening.
We're just asking the citizens just to find a way to resolve conflict without weapons. We're just asking people to, step away. We're asking people just to let bygones be bygones.
Authorities have arrived to the scene to find 6 victims. A man in his 30s was taken nearby hospital and pronounced dead shortly thereafter. There are no further updates on the young child who is receiving care at a local hospital. The other victims are said to be in stable condition. No arrests have been made, and this investigation is still ongoing. Atlanta Police Chief also says the gun violence is never the answer, especially in a public place.
Anytime that we have any tragedy like this, any death is a tragedy. Then as we have kids that are also involved, again, we're being told there were a lot of people out here. But again, it's just this is not a place.
I mean, think about it. You have some asshole last week that was shooting up a person at a McDonald's because their fries were cold. Excuse me, their mother's fries were cold. He had a comment for the news stories, and this was what it was. You got to do what you got to do over cold freaking fries. I mean, let's just think about that for a second. It's nonsensical.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Let me give you one more real quick. A CDC team in Rockland County, New York are investigating America's first polio case in nearly a decade. Sarah Lee Kessler has more info.
An unvaccinated Rockland County man tested positive for polio last month. Since then, polio virus has been detected in wastewater samples in both Rockland and Orange counties. State Health Commissioner Dr. Mary Bassett says she's concerned that hundreds of New Yorkers could be infected with the potentially paralytic virus. The CDC is investigating and will also help with polio shots. Anyone who's unvaccinated is urged to get immunized. Sarah Lee Kessler, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, thank you, Sarah Lee, for that information right there. I think with everything going on and us running out of time, it's time to talk about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Tom. Fred Gwynn, as Herman Munster, said, "The lesson I want you to learn is that it doesn't matter what you look like. You could be tall or short, fat or thin, or ugly or handsome, like your father. Or you can be black or yellow or white. It doesn't matter. But what does matter is the size of your heart and the strength of your character." I absolutely love that. You'd never guess that that amazing quote came from a giant monster on a TV show. But it is. I don't have much to add. Herman, or Fred Gwynn actually, got it 100% right. Be nice to people, no matter what they look like. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlessaMorgan.com. Grip strength and muscle mass continue to be the best longevity predictors, with strong grip and the significant muscle mass showing direct correlation with robust health, increased mobility, and speed of recovery after injuries. In addition to physical routine that supports frequent movement and weight training, a key factor contributing to longevity is optimal protein consumption. And when it comes to protein, studies have shown that a high-protein breakfast may be better at increasing muscle mass and grip strength than a high-protein dinner. This may have to do with day-night circadian variations in digestion and absorption of amino acids, as well as the metabolism and bioavailability of amino acids in skeletal muscle. A high-protein intake earlier in the day may be more optimal for maintenance of muscle mass. For more information, check out AlessaMorgan.com.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
I never understand why they think that they would be responsible for what the hell I'm saying. I mean, who the hell knows anymore? Anyway, so let's continue talking as we are running out of time. 55 minutes past the top of the hour. I got one more for you before we get you moving and grooving here. A former housekeeper at a 4-star hotel has a list of things you should never touch when staying in a hotel room. TikTok user Soren Quinn detailed the lack of cleaning process, saying that I've been in some of these things and I have some of the horror stories. For starters, she says staying in a hotel, you should never use a coffee pot or any of the glassware. Why? Usually the housekeepers just rinse these in the bathroom sinks, it dries them off, and with the same rag they're using to clean the restroom with. Other things to avoid, according to the video, which has now been viewed more than 534,000 times, is the ice bucket. Guests sometimes use them as water dishes for their pets and will not wash them, or worse. And then I don't even know what to do with this. The bedspread, they say that they are only washed once a year unless they have blood on them or puke. She suggests that it takes to take it off the bed, and then you should stay there if you want to, but just don't touch that. Although Sorkin acknowledged that every hotel operates, does not operate the same. She also worked at a lot of people who messaged her saying that they found the same level of cleanliness where they worked, and the TikTok users also pointed out that she feels part of the problem is housekeeping get in trouble if they take too long in cleaning rooms or sending too much stuff to the laundry. Sounds like a cluster F to me. I'll try to stay away from that. That is for sure. Anyways, there you go. There's that. Something to think about if you're staying at a hotel tonight. Good for you. Anyways, let me see real quick things that happened back on this date, if we can talk about them real quick. If we take a look at, 1992, the Dream Team wins gold at Barcelona. The team was made up of NBA superstars Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Charles Barkley, and Patrick Ewing. They beat Croatia 117-85. That happened back on this date, back in 1992. If you're looking at some birthdays today, let's jump around. Shawn Mendes, 24. Princess Beatrice, 34. Shayna Baszler, 42. And Dustin Hoffman turns 85 today. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, it's National Happiness Happens Day, National Frozen Custard Day, National Sneak Some Zucchini Into Your Neighbor's Porch Day, and National Dollar Day. So there you go, some stuff you can celebrate if you're so inclined to do so. What else do we got? If you need a random joke for today, convert your sofa into a sofa bed by simply forgetting your wife's birthday. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What is the most creative excuse that you've ever used to leave early or get out of work? If you need something for the water cooler, try this. A survey found that the average person does this 16 times per day. What is it? Swear? Oh, why limit it so much? There you go. Anyways, at the top of the hour, I'll be going over to RadioBig.fm exclusively if you want to come and hang out and do the stuff that we do over there. You can also find it on TuneIn Radio. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big. That is because you are the listener, the most, important part of this whole thing. If not, it doesn't work out too well. Anyways, if I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. People who wonder if the glass is half empty or half full are missing the point. The glass is refillable. Think about that one. That one will set your noodle on fire. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love ya, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.